Business owners, today we are going to talk about the 8100 Elite series from HP business class desktops. They're very small. They have this extremely small form factor, but they're very powerful. They feature the latest processors from Intel, including the Core i5. Now, this one in particular does use the Core i5. There are ones that have the Core i7 and the Core i3, but this one is the Core i5 dual core. This is a very fast 3.2 gigahertz processor, and it's not always 3.2. When you're doing single-threaded applications, which means you're not multitasking, it can overclock itself to over 3.65 gigahertz, which is extremely fast, very, very fast self-overclocking, and that's a feature from Intel called Turbo Boost. Now, on top of that, you have 2 gigabytes of extremely fast DDR3 memory in this computer. It's preloaded with 2 types of operating systems, and that's where you get into the business grade of these types of computers. First of all, you get a full copy of Windows XP Professional, the standard, the classic, what everyone uses, works with any type of software that you have at your old business. A lot of people use these like old software programs that were written specifically for their field, for their business, but they were written maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even older sometimes. They only run on older operating systems. If you have a problem with Vista or Windows 7, you can always go back to XP, and this one comes preloaded, but you shouldn't have to worry about it, and you should be able to run the most modern operating system out now, which is Windows 7 Professional, and that's because Windows 7 Professional has XP mode, where it virtualizes or emulates the environment of Windows XP inside Windows 7, and that works almost perfectly every time. So you shouldn't have to suffer dealing with Windows XP, which a lot of people don't realize that they're kind of suffering because they don't realize how awesome Windows 7 is. Windows 7 is a gorgeous operating system. It's very fast, it's very snappy, and it's really great. Now I'm going to take you for a quick tour of this little desktop. It's a small form factor, so you kind of leave it on its side, put the monitor on top, or if you so desire, you can kind of just use it like this in a vertical orientation. It works either way. The DVD drive will work in either way, so let's just jump right into it. Starting off here from the top, come back up. Okay, so you do have a Super Multi DVD RW right up here. It does have light scribe. It will print a high contrast image using the same laser that it used to burn the DVD on the top of the image, so that's really, really cool. It'll burn just about any format you can throw at it, RWs, RAMs, ROMs, dual layer discs, etc., etc. Now, as you move down over here, you do have a few things going on. Right here's your power switch, and you also have an indicator light for your hard drive and for the power as well. You have 4 USB 2.0 ports in the front. You're going to see in a second that you have an additional 6 in the back, which brings the total to 10, which is incredible. And then you have your input and your output for your headsets and your microphone. Now, moving to the back on this desktop, there's a lot of really cool features on here for businesses. First thing, you have an additional set of input and outputs for microphones and for speakers. You do have PS2s. A lot of time, the older businesses are using the PS2s. This computer does come with a keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse are included, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, you also have a VGA port for your traditional monitor, as well as a serial port for older stuff. And here's a really cool feature. You have display ports. If you're using this as a workstation, maybe monitoring stocks or something like that, these display ports can be split out into multiple monitors, and they can also power some of the largest, highest resolution monitors on the planet. As a matter of fact, they're barely even out yet, so they're on the way. That means that this thing is very, very future-proof. Now, like I said earlier, you have an additional 6 USB 2.0 ports, bringing the total to 10, and then 10 100 1000 Ethernet, which is very important in businesses because you are doing usually a lot of network resources are only online on the network, and if you want to access them quickly, download them quickly, and play them quickly, use them, you want to have that fast 10 100 1000 Ethernet or gigabit Ethernet. It's 10 times faster than the slower 10 100. Also, a very cool business feature is this parallel port adapter from HP. So if you have an older, maybe a point-of-sale printer or a very specific printer that uses only a parallel port that can't be upgraded, you can't buy a new one, you can't replace it, you can only repair it. This is really, really useful for those old printers, so they put that on there. Also, just so you know, you do have the ability to add more expansion card slots, and we're going to talk about those right now because I'm going to go ahead and open this computer. I want to show you what's inside. First of all, very professional handle and opening locking system. I mean, it's really nice. You don't find that on consumer computers. This is only on these business-grade computers. Same with the insides. They're very, very professionally wired. Everything looks really, really nice. This is the CPU cooler. You can see it ducts in cool air from the front, goes through the heatsink, and then comes out and gets exhausted through the heat fan on the back. So very nice setup. Now, I want to talk a little bit about expansion on this computer because it can be expanded quite a bit. As you can see, 2 of the SATA cables are already used, but there is only 1 hard drive. The other one is for the DVD drive. So like I mentioned, there's a 250 gigabyte SATA hard drive, and then there's that DVD RW. If you want to add an additional hard drive right there, and that blue port is an additional SATA port. You can add up to a 2 terabyte hard drive on there, throw it on. Actually, a 2.5 terabyte hard drive. Those are about to come out and hit the market very soon. So up to an additional 2.5 terabytes of hard drive space. Also down here, as far as the slots go, you can add a few things. You do have a PCI Express X16 2.0 slot. You actually have 2 of them. They are not going to work at full X16, but you can use this one sort of as an X1, which is basically what it is. It's a black one. It's an X1. It's just a full length X16. So just think about it if it was a smaller one. And then you also have a PCI slot, so you can do just about anything with those PCI slots. Now, just keep in mind though that because this is such a small computer and the expansion slots are so small over here, you have to use a low profile specification. So whatever you're looking to get, make sure that you get it low pro, because if not, it will not fit. And that's basically it on this little HP computer, the 8100 series Elite. It's a very, very nice unit. You're paying extra for the build quality and for the fact that it comes with 2 operating systems, but it is still very powerful. It's got the Core i5 650, 3.2 gigahertz dual core with hyper-threading, so it emulates that it has 4 cores. It self-overclocks to over 3.65 gigahertz. 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, a 250 gig hard drive, a great onboard graphics, 101000 Ethernet. You can upgrade the memory, I believe, to 16 gigabytes, which is huge. So very, very nice system, the 8100 series Elite from HP. If you have any questions on it,